Yo, what's going on guys? Cultofmush back at it with another video, and this is going to be more of a discussion style video, so after you're done watching, please post your thoughts in the comments section down below. So in this video, I want to talk about PC gaming and worrying too much about graphics, settings, and frame rates. For those of you that don't have a gaming PC yet, you might think this is the dumbest topic I've ever thought of, but I'm sure that a lot of you that are PC gamers are gonna understand what I'm talking about in this video. So us PC gamers, especially like myself, being somewhat of a graphics whore, less so these days than years past, but it still lingers on with me sometimes, a lot of us want the best possible experience possible given the hardware we have, so I often find myself spending an outrageous amount of time tinkering with settings and everything else going on my PC more than I actually sometimes play games. And honestly, I've heard similar sorts of things from other people too. We spend so much money on our PCs that yeah, we do want to figure out how to get the best performance and graphics possible, but sometimes it is almost a detriment to our gaming experiences. This is doubly true for the games that are just unoptimized pieces of garbage like DayZ. I'll find myself messing around with the settings for like 20 minutes, thinking I finally found the right spot, and then I'll play for like about 15 minutes, notice a frame rate drop, and I'll be like, what the hell is going on? But I'll literally scream it out loud, and then I spend another 20 minutes messing around with my settings, trying to close every other application I have open, and trying all of these things just for smoother performance, when at the end of the day, is that really gonna affect my DayZ experience by all that much? The answer is probably not, but I find myself doing it anyway. The one thing that I do that I really need to stop doing is I have MSI Afterburner open literally at all times, so I'm monitoring my CPU usage, GPU usage, and of course the frame rate. And it legitimately gets to the point where I just stare at the corner of my screen looking at these numerical values more so than actually taking the game in. Now, I'm not saying this happens all the time. After a while I'll just say fuck it and play the game, but especially when there's a new game that comes out, like I'm sure I'll be doing it with Battlefield 1 while playing multiplayer. Instead of actually trying to be good at the game, I'll just stare at the corner of my screen and tard raging every time I see a frame rate drop. And I know, again, that this probably seems like absolute insanity to some of you guys, like what is this entitled losers first world problems? But again, it's something I've heard from PC gamers before. Sometimes for them it even gets to the point of, why am I not getting good enough frame rates? I gotta now upgrade my GPU, go for an SLI configuration or something like that. When you get into PC gaming, it won't be the case for all of you, but for some of you, you'll just want better performance all the time and not even care about the game. It could be a game that you really don't even care about, but the fact that it's lowering your frame rate from 50, it will just make your head explode. And again, if you're not a PC gamer, you won't understand what I'm talking about, but once you see that 60 in the corner of your screen from something like MSI Afterburner Fraps, you just want that 60 all the time, and sometimes you do forget. At the end of the day, I just want to play the game. It becomes almost like mental satisfaction when you finally have the PC that can run X game at 60 FPS, but what happens when you're done with X game and then you move on to the newer game that you can't run at 60 FPS? The vicious cycle just continues. The point of this video is that for those of you like me, and I tell myself this sometimes, is that we really have to stop giving so much of a shit about getting the highest frame rate and the highest graphical fidelity possible. I get it, we spend a lot of money on our PCs and we want great performance, but at the end of the day, why did we buy our gaming PCs? To play games. And it's so bad with me because my Steam library is filled with these great games that I haven't played for more than a half hour because I just boot them up, see that I'm getting a solid frame rate, and be like, alright, the luster is over, and then I'm just giving up on what's probably a very good game. I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous and I come across so petty, but it's what happens to some of us after we get into PC gaming. Don't get me wrong, I've played games that I just got so absorbed into the experience and I forgot all about it. Obviously, my generic answer to what game that is The Witcher 3. I was so absorbed into that game that I just completely blocked everything out, like performance and whatnot. But it's crushing to know that some of the great games of the last year and a half, I've only treated them as technical benchmarks when I should be playing them more. And I need to get back to doing that because when I got into PC gaming, I was playing everything initially. I didn't really care about performance because I had a somewhat crappy PC and I knew that I'd be stuck with it for a while because I didn't have the means to upgrade all the time. But now it's like, oh, I could upgrade, but I always manage to talk myself out of it and realize it's a dumb idea. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I really wanted to talk about this because I've probably been gaming like this for the last 18 months, and hopefully some of you guys are like me and I don't feel like a goddamn weirdo. And for the last year or 18 months, I've been treating what are objectively great games as just benchmarks. And don't get me wrong, I do like to look at performance of games, but there's more to gaming than just looking at the performance and just looking at the frame rate. There's obviously the game itself. So let me know in the comment section down below if you have ever had to deal with this, and if you have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments as well. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.